Hey guys, welcome back to another Horror Nights rumor video. I hope you guys are doing good. I know things are kind of even crazier now at the moment, but I hope you're all well. It is just going to be me today. Long story short, we couldn't make the video work this week because of lockdown. There's a lot more guards on the road and I would have had to go to Will's house to give him the SD card and it just was too much. So hopefully you're okay with it being just me, because that's all you got today. So, we are going to be talking about HHN30 speculation and rumours today. If that is not something you are interested in hearing about, if you'd rather things be a surprise when the event does happen, then don't watch this video. But if you're interested, then watch it. So, anyway, let's just go into it. I'm going to start with actual Horror Nights rumours, and we're not going to talk about anything Rona related just yet. So, let's go into the clues that I talked about last week that Legacy was talking about. So he had a clue that was a Hyundai, I don't know how you guys pronounce it, Hyundai, Equus, a black Hyundai Equus car. That was a clue, and also he had the picture of Darkwing Duck that was a real duck with a Darkwing Duck costume on. So he decided to drop the answers to the clues because once that speculation map came out, he kind of has said he's kind of done, which I'm disappointed about, but I also understand. Because I really like his clues. I know Will doesn't really like his clues, but I like his clues. Basically, so what he said was the Equus clue was Daniel Radcliffe was an Equus, which we had kind of figured. He then said Daniel Radcliffe was in Harry Potter. Harry Potter lived in a cupboard under the stairs. It's people under the stairs, which I kind of, that was one of the houses that was going to be on my dream house list because I think it would be so bad that it would be so good. But I don't think really that that's on the cards, but I don't know. But anyway, he said that people under the stairs, but I think that rumor is he kind of put it out there and then just kind of tossed it, so I don't know if that's even a thing. But it'd be kind of cool if it was. And the Darkwing Duck one then was somehow related to Sabrina. I don't remember fully what it was, but it was Sabrina. However, he has since then said about the speculation map that we talked about last video that there are 3 houses missing on that speculation map, and also Sabrina he thinks is a no, Gremlins he thinks is a no, and then there was one other house on there that he thinks is missing. So that's quite interesting. Alright, so let's talk about the next thing. The speculation map 2.0 dropped last week, which I was very happy about because I didn't know if we'd get much to talk about this week. So I'm gonna talk to you about the changes. So I'm really excited about the changes. If this turns out to be real, it's going to be good. It's going to be a really good year. So let's just start from the start. The first thing is the Billie Eilish house that was on the first speculation map and the Bride of Frankenstein house have now been smushed together. So basically, it's kind of what I had sort of said that I thought might be happening, is that Billie Eilish would not be in her own house. It would be that she would be a part of a different property. Which this looked like this is what's happening. So it's the Bride of Frankenstein house with music from Billie Eilish, which that to me sounds great. I'm very excited about that. I think that will work so well. It's going to add such a different element to Universal Monsters house. And I'm really excited about that. So I'm definitely up for that. That also means that there is now a space where the Billie Eilish house was. So that, I think they've put Dungeon of Terror in there. And then after that, they have put in a secret IP. So Sabrina's gone off this map and Gremlins has gone off this map. Billie Eilish has gone off this map and they've put in a secret IP. Now, the way this seems to be looking is that it looks like it is going to be a big one. I think that because Legacy talked a bit about it on the forums, and he said that he asked HHN Nightmares, that's who does the map, to not put that IP on the list, because he said that if it doesn't happen, he thinks people will be really disappointed, which leads me to believe that is a really, really big IP. So I made a list of all the IPs that were rumoured from the start of this year, and I'm going to read them out to you, just because I was like, okay, what can we kind of figure out? A lot of people have been trying to take the font that they used on speculation map and sort of look into that, but I think a lot of people have kind of come to a dead end on those things, but I don't know, we'll just have to see. But okay, so I'm going to start with a few obvious ones. We got Candyman, we've got a Chucky house, and we've got a Conjuring house. Now, Legacy has said that they're all a no. Legacy has also said there have been no rumours about this house, no official rumours, there may have been speculation, but there's been no actual rumours. So that would lead me to believe those 3 are out. Then we've got, from the survey that we talked about a couple of videos ago that the Universal sent out, we've got American Horror Story, Game of Thrones, and a Twilight Zone house. So again, they are things that have been sort of talked about, and I think maybe Game of Thrones could be big enough to kind of be one that people would talk about. I hope it's not that. As I've said before, I'm not interested in a Game of Thrones house, but that could be one of the ones that maybe this could be. I don't know. That's just my opinion, or it's just what's been out there already. Then there's also the Creepshow house that we talked about ages ago. We then heard that it was cut, but that could be back on again. However, I don't think that's big enough for people to be disappointed about if it doesn't come. Also, that one has been rumoured. And then Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Theme Park University did like an article online of what they thought might be coming, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre was one of them, which to me just came out of nowhere. So I don't know, maybe it would be Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but again, that doesn't seem like a big enough one for Legacy to want to keep it a secret. Guys, can you imagine if it was an It house? I would lose my mind. I just, like, I'm not trying not to get my hopes up, but like, okay, there is one other thing that he said, or someone said, I can't remember where, I found this on the forum somewhere, but somebody said that it wasn't an 80s slasher and it wasn't a modern film. Okay, if we're taking It is technically a modern film, but maybe they're talking about modern film in the sense of it's not a recent release. Like, It 1 came out a couple of years ago now, so maybe modern would be something like The Invisible Man or Candyman, which is obviously films that are coming out and or came out this year. So, I'm fingers crossed for It. Like, you know, I have been since the very, very start of this whole thing. I've been fingers crossed for It for years. So I would love if it was that. And you know, that to me seems like one that would be big enough to keep a secret. So let me know what you think about that, but that's what I think. Now, it has nothing to do with the font on the map or anything like that, but I just think it'd be good. The next one that's on this map is a pumpkin original house. So when I looked at this first, I was like, yeah, cool, great, fine, whatever, don't know where you got that from, but sounds good. Then HHN Unofficial put an article out that it's more like their speculation, but this rumor gave me new life. Like, I'm sure y'all have had a tough week. I've had a really tough week, and like, this breathed new life into my day. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Nathaniel Crowe. Basically, Nathaniel Crowe was an icon that was never used. He was created by Mike Aiello, and he was meant to be a follow-up of HHN17. So he was going to be the icon for HHN18, and he was going to be a continuation of the Carnival of Carnage story. What I'm going to do is I'm going to link a video to the Behind the Thrills website that has an interview, a panel with Mike Aiello on it, and Mike Aiello talks and reads the whole story behind Nathaniel Crowe. So I'm going to leave that down there, so definitely go look at it, because he, like, you know, he's going to tell you all about it. I'm just going to butcher the whole story, so I'm just going to let you look at that. But he's like a Pumpkin King character guy, and he's related to the Carnival of Carnage and Jack. And so HHN Unofficial has kind of said, hey, this sounds like that could be that, and that got me so excited. Also got me excited because there is another unknown original on this map, and that's just completely unknown. So then I was thinking, I was like, okay, so we've got a Terror Queen house, we've got a Storyteller house potentially, we might have a Nathaniel Crowe house. What if we had another icon house and we just had complete icon originals for HHN30? And I just thought that would be so cool. Like, another unused icon is obviously Eddie, who more people I think know about, but what if we got something like an Eddie house? That's so exciting to me. This looks like it's going to be the best lineup ever for me, because the fact that we could potentially get like different icons and houses. Now again, this is all rumours and speculation, but I think like having an entirely icon centered event would be so good. And I think it would work as well, because I think something like, you could have a Nathaniel Crowe house and just call it like the Pumpkin King house or something, and that's like, anyone would be interested in that. Like, an Eddie house could be just like crazy chainsaw wielding maniac house, like that. No one needs to know that it's Eddie, but we'd know. So what do you think of that? I think that would be really cool. There's also one other thing that I got excited about with all this. So if Nathaniel Crowe is an extension of Jack and the Carnival of Carnage, and there was a rumor this year that there was going to be 3 shows, what if they did a Carnival of Carnage scare zone in New York, and just like they did for Vamp 85, they had like an unofficial show? So because it has been on both maps, it just says there's 2 shows, Academy of Villains and the Lagoon show. So what if the third show was like not actually listed as a show, and it was a Carnival of Carnage show in New York, and there was a whole Carnival of Carnage scare zone? This literally, like, I got so, it's not even, this is all just out of my own head, and I just got so excited about it. But I think, what do you guys think? I think that would be amazing, but also it could be possible. Like, this could be something that might actually happen. So I got really excited about that. So let me know what you think about all that. One other thing I wanted to talk about in regards to the speculation maps. I don't really talk about Hollywood because I've never been there. On Hollywood's map, they have a Jordan Peele original house. So I believe that looks like it would be an original house created by Jordan Peele as opposed to a Jordan Peele property. So that is also another possibility for Orlando, but the fact that they didn't put that on our map makes me think that it might be more related to something like an icon. So yeah, so that's the speculation map changes / my thoughts and opinions. So let me know what you think of all that. Oh yeah, also, Gremlins is off this map, Sabrina is off this map, and the Legendary Truth is on this map, but they got rid of the Carry Ohio thing. So then I guess they're looking at it just being a Legendary Truth house with no particular spin on it. I don't know. A few people were disappointed about that because it looked like it was going to be an anniversary house, but I think we're not going to get an anniversary house in particular. We're going to have a complete anniversary year with just icons all over the place. So, I hope that happens. Okay, so let's just talk about one thing. During the week, Patrick Braillard tweeted out again. His tweet was, reviewing triggers and room sources for HHN30. That was the tweet. And that to me is a very positive tweet because that just means that they're still working on it and they're still planning on it for happening. Another thing that I just saw yesterday, Horror Nights Oral fan, so a Horror Nights Orlando fan on Instagram posted a picture of the parade building being worked on. I don't know how they got it. I think they got it off some sort of source that they know, but they put it up on Instagram, and I'm going to link their Instagram down below, and you can have a look at it yourself because that again gave me new life. Also, on top of that, there are now 9 permits that are active for Horror Nights. Everything basically except for Shrek. Because people aren't sure now if Shrek is going to be used or if Cafe La Bamba is going to be used or what's going to happen there. So we're just waiting for that to happen. But they're still working. There's still, there's still permits that are active. Everything is still a go. Also, I wanted to talk about one more thing on top of that. There was a survey released yesterday when I released this video. There was a survey released like yesterday. Again, this is just, I didn't get the survey, I just saw people talking about it. It was Universal talking about what people would be comfortable with in regards to coming back into the park when there is potentially not a vaccine for the coronavirus. And it was, some of the things were a little bit like, oh my god. But I think, so basically it's things like, would you be okay wearing a mask? Would you be okay if there was reduced capacity on rides? No 3D glasses. Then there was a lot of things about shows being completely kaput, indoor rides being completely not a thing. There was a lot on it, and I think if you look too close into it, it can be quite scary. But I think the main thing that I'm focusing on with this is the fact that Universal are currently working on a plan to reopen the parks as soon as possible with using like the necessary precautions to make sure everybody stays safe. So I think instead of looking at the server and kind of freaking out about, oh my god, 25% capacity, they also said 75% capacity. And again, it's just them asking people what they would feel comfortable with. I think this is a good thing. I think it just, to me, it looks like these things put together look like that Horror Nights could still happen. It will be different. I think we all kind of have figured out by now that unless something drastic happens in the next few months, it's going to be a bit different. But as long as it happens, I don't care. So yeah, and I know a lot of people are concerned about this, and one person was concerned during the week in the comments that there was no announcements, and it's not a surprise that there's no announcements. The parks are closed, it's just the way it is at the moment. I think a lot of people are assuming that when the parks open again, they're just going to drop everything, which at this point I'm fine with. I just want to know that it's happening. But again, I think worrying about it is, there's no point, because even though there's so many articles out there right now, and every time I open up Twitter, I'm kind of like, oh my god, it's a minefield of like bad news and potential, threats to Horror Nights. But like, the main thing is nobody knows anything except that Universal are still working towards opening the park and having Horror Nights 30. So I think that's what we all need to try and focus on. So that's kind of it for this week. I wanted to link a few people, so I've been starting to follow a few Instagram accounts. That Horror Nights Orlando fan account is down there, and there's a few other ones that I have started to follow, which I'll put on the screen here, but also I'll link them down below. And they're just like fun accounts that are all Horror Nights related, and they're doing like quizzes and asking questions and just putting up fun posts about Horror Nights. So if you're feeling blue about, you know, things at the moment, they are a couple of good accounts to follow. Also, I wanted to show you guys something. I made a skirt for Horror Nights. It's Bard of Frankenstein. So yeah, I made a skirt. So that's what I've been doing to keep myself occupied. I've also been making some masks. I've got my face mask because, you know, matches my skirt because we're probably going to need it, and potentially in September. I've also been making a few and sending them to people and stuff, but that's what I've been doing to keep myself busy. Also, I have been watching Shudder, the Cursed series. So I highly recommend it because it's kind of like, it talks about all the sort of stories and stuff behind movies like Poltergeist and The Omen, with like, you know, we all know the different stories around those films about the tragedies and the different accidents that happened. I feel like we all know them. So that's why this show is quite good, because it kind of takes a different spin on things, and it's got some good interviews with people and stuff on it, and I'm really enjoying it. But I hope you guys are doing okay. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it was okay that it was just me this time. I'm hoping Will will be able to be in the next video, but it just didn't work out this time. So listen, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you've anything to add, you know, write it down below. As always, I'd love to hear your comments. I hope you guys stay well, and I will see you in the next video.